I've long said that most self-improvement advice boils down to a single word: simplify. Advice from books, YouTube videos, even scientific research often teaches us how to do just that. How to simplify our to-do lists, our days, our homes, our lives. Of course, I'm not discounting the value of such advice. I can't understate the impact that self-development videos and books have had on my life. I wouldn't be nearly as happy, content, or focused as I am without those things. Because though the advice sounds simple, it often is a lot more complex than that. See, self-help gurus have a way of taking simple advice and putting a new light on it or showing it to us in a way we didn't necessarily think of. They take something that's simple and find a way to squeeze more time, more effort, or more money out of it, help us to live better through simple advice. With that, I'd like to propose one simple concept that has the power to truly change your life, and that's batching. At its core, batching is, well, simple. It just means that you take similar tasks and get them done all at one time instead of spreading them out over the period of days or weeks. Stanford professor and author of The Man Who Lied to His Laptop, Clifford Nass, described well the pitfalls of multitasking. Nass says that our brains only have the ability to process 3 bits of information at any given point, and that multitasking is more like multi-switching, because it just means that our brains are quickly switching between tasks. Likewise, several studies show that it can take up to 30 minutes to get our brains back on track after a distraction. So if you take the idea that our brains are constantly having to shift between tasks, and that it can take up to 30 minutes to adjust to each new task and reach a state of flow, you can see how much of a time waster switching between tasks can be. Batching removes this friction of switching between tasks and therefore saves a lot of time and effort. So if you're someone who's constantly switching between email, planning for the upcoming week, getting work done, Instagram, and everything else, batching might be a way to reduce those startup costs, reduce that friction, and make it easier on yourself and your brain to get things done. For example, instead of refreshing your inbox every 10 minutes, batch your email by checking it just twice a day. First thing when you sit down for work in the morning and just before you log off, for example. Instead of checking Instagram for 2 minutes 30 times a day, let yourself take 1 or 2 30-minute social media breaks in the middle of the day. You get the idea. The goal is to give your brain chunks of time to focus on a single task instead of forcing it to constantly switch between them. But even if you're not a chronic multitasker, batching can still add a lot of value to your life, and you can take it far beyond just the day-to-day tasks. Let me give you some examples. I've never been good at planning out my weeks. Either I make a plan and get way too ambitious, assigning too many tasks to each day and giving up halfway through, or I just don't have the organization needed to make a weekly plan and just take the week day by day. That's how I've approached my to-do list recently. I write videos when the inspiration strikes, and when I have some free time, I decide what I'm going to do, pick whatever, needs to be done around the house or off of my to-do list. But that's asking a lot of my brain. Not only am I switching between tasks, but I'm asking my brain to make a decision every single time about what I'm going to do next. Whenever I finish a task, my brain has to cycle through the list of tasks and then pick the next one to get done. And oftentimes, I feel too tired or overwhelmed to actually pick what to do next, or just don't know what to do next, and so I end up doing nothing. But I've seen a lot of benefit from intentionally planning out my week and batching tasks. Or take filming a YouTube video. Sometimes I get excited to document something, and so whenever I have free time, I'll take out my camera. Even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes, I'll take out my camera and film a little bit. But there's a lot more that goes into filming a video than just taking out my camera and filming. It's getting the lighting right, it's getting the set right, it's taking out my camera, my mic, and then putting it all away after. So if instead I plan out my week in advance and know when I'm going to have a couple hours to film, schedule in time to get it done in a big chunk, it reduces a lot of that setup friction. Planning your week ahead is really the only way to find opportunities for this kind of time-saving batching. It's the only way to make sure you can batch similar tasks while still ensuring you get done everything that you need to. For me, batching everything from writing to filming to getting work done to doing things around the house reduces a lot of setup time, a lot of friction, and a lot of brain power. It just automatically helps me flow from one thing to the next instead of constantly trying to decide what I'm going to do next. And it also allows me to get into a flow state with each of those tasks. Instead of switching every 15 or 20 minutes, I can really dig deep in this one task. I can really focus on it, give it my full attention. I'd encourage you to try batching on just about everything you do, from responding to text messages to work to playing video games. As you batch, as you learn to focus on just one task at a time, as you're only asking your brain to be all in on that one thing, I guarantee you'll find a lot more time that you didn't know you had. Time to pursue the things you love. Like most of self-development, it's a simple rule, and it's about simplification. It's about taking one simple concept and applying it to your life, but it's the kind of simple concept that can have life-changing results. It can give you those couple extra hours a week that you need to pursue your passion projects or your dreams, or get that much needed rest. It's that thing that compounded over time can lead to life-changing results.